about the persecution of Christians in the Middle East. People like this apologist here, this Islamist supremacist, says that verbal abuse of Christians is not persecution, that physical abuse of Christians is not persecution, that saying that Christians should worship in their houses is not persecution, that making it illegal to become a Christian is not persecution, that making it illegal to build churches is not persecution, that casting Christians out of their jobs because they became Christian is not persecution, that forbidding Christians to practice their faith fully and completely is not persecution. That is the kind of Islamist narrative that must be opposed by every Christian, because if you ignore it in Pakistan and you ignore it in Kosovo and you ignore it in Egypt, then it will come here, as we have seen in France and in the UK already, where a Christian convert from Islam, Nisa, Muslims tried to murder him in this country because he left Islam. But did any of you hear about Christophobia in the media, about the prejudice emanating from parts of the Muslim community? Did you get lectured by the liberal media about why it was wrong or why you should stand up to it? No, you didn't. Soon. Because the liberal media see themselves as your shepherds. They have put rose-tinted glasses over your eyes so that you only see the world in one way and you ignore everything else. Wake up! Free your mind!
And become a Muslim. Bob, you said you oppose Islamization of Europe and the world, yes?
Yes.
A lot of Muslims in Europe convert on their own accord without being forced. What's the problem with that? What is your problem with that?
Once again, he is trying to change the subject. He is trying to change the subject. I was talking about how it is illegal in every single Muslim majority country where Christians are persecuted by either the state or the cultural society or both, and he wants to create a false dichotomy, because we all know the Muslims are not persecuted here for converting to Islam.
So what's the problem with that?
So he was creating a false dichotomy by non-existent persecution of Muslims on the one hand, and the widespread universal persecution of Christians in every single Muslim majority society in the entire world on the other.
If they want to be Muslim,
you have been lied to. Free your mind. The media says, look over here. I invite you instead to look over here. Look at what the media is not telling you. Look at what the media is silent about. You are being lied to. Free your mind. Look again at the persecution of Christians and be as loud and as vocal about Christophobia in the Islamic world as the liberal media are vocal about Islamophobia. Raise your voice, challenge the liberal elites, challenge the bourgeois echo chamber, challenge those snivelling, virtue-signalling hypocrites who see themselves as your moral teachers. Free your mind, O Christian, because the liberal West wants you to be weak. They want you to be a doormat. They want you to be a passive Christian. As a Christian, you are called to be an activist. The Apostle James wrote in his Catholic epistle, "Do not be hearers of the word only, but doers of the word." And what is that word? Christ taking a garment, washed the feet of his disciples. And he said, "On this day I give you a new commandment. Love one another." What is new about this commandment? He is speaking to his apostles about loving and serving one another as a community, as an identity, as a church, which means that we Christians must concern ourselves with meeting the needs of our brothers and sisters. And that means standing in solidarity with persecuted Christians wherever they are persecuted and by whoever persecutes them. Free your mind. Be a better disciple of Christ, O Christian. Grow some balls. Get a backbone. Stand up for your community. Use your skills, abilities, and resources to defend the cause of the church and the Christian community. In a world where Christians are increasingly being persecuted by a liberal state that is supposedly pluralist, but will accept ISIS fighters returning from Syria and Iraq, but will not accept persecuted Christian refugees like Aisha Bibi from Pakistan, or the brother who converted most recently in Iran and who cannot flee here because our liberal, pluralist, secular society doesn't want a Christian refugee. I'm going to take a break and then I'm going to come back and talk some more. I'll be over at the cafe if you really need to talk to me. I greet you all in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ.
Thank you. Thank you.
Content over everything. From your humility.
Man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV.
Yes.
Listen.
And maybe 100 people died. And when they interviewed the CEO of the factory, he said, "I didn't know what the big fuss is
That's the kind
about.
of corruption that we can end.
I didn't know what the big fuss is about. It's within the normal range."
That's the kind of corruption we can end. When we hold everybody accountable, we'll be able to end that kind of corruption, that ingrained corruption in our society.
Yeah, but how do you hold everybody accountable if the state holds all the power and you have
State
zero
won't hold
ability to
power.
criticize it?
There will be both the state and...
No, you're ignoring the question. How do you count the state accountable for the